Tucker Carlson is a Republican operative, okay? He wants J.D. Vance to become the president. How are Republicans going to win an election? Well, for Republicans to win the election, they need to appeal to Indians and Hispanics and Jewish money and all these other groups. So what I mean by this is Tucker is not thinking about white survival. Tucker is thinking about what is required for us to win enough votes in like Pennsylvania. You understand the difference? I am thinking ahead to 2050 when we are a minority. I am thinking ahead to 2100 when we're a minority everywhere. He is thinking ahead to the next election where we can't play too hard into the white identity politics because we can't alienate everybody else, because then they might not vote for our candidate or something. And it's problematic. This is like a Pied Piper effect. And you can't tell me, well, hey man, you know, maybe Tucker is just hiding his power levels. Maybe he understands this, but he needs to be careful about what he says. He's concealing it. Understand that Tucker is going in the New York Times, and he's not saying, that's not for me, those are not my beliefs. Tucker went in the New York Times a few weeks ago and said Nick Fuentes is working for the elites because he's pushing white identity politics. In other words, he is deliberately going out of his way to delegitimize and discredit anybody who's talking like this. So it's not like he's passively omitting these things. It's not like he's going on a show and he's leading you to the right conclusions without saying them explicitly. He's sort of passively omitting this part, which is a little edgier and a little more controversial, because if he was doing that, maybe he could be excused and forgiven. No, he goes on his show repeatedly and says, white identity politics is evil. It is as bad as any other identity politics. It is the most dangerous thing we could do. He says, and anyone promoting it like Nick Fuentes is a distraction. Don't listen to them. They're working for the elites because they're dividing us. Those are not the real issues. What are the real issues, he says? Taxes. He says, why are investments taxed at a lower rate than income? Why is work taxed more than financial speculation? He says that's the real issue. And if you're talking about race, religion, immigration from a racial point of view, well, that's just a divide and conquer strategy. Well, you know what? That sounds like Hassan Piker. That sounds like some serious workers of the world unite bullshit. Forget about race, forget about nationality, forget about religion. It's all about we're the working class. Why are us working people being taxed so much? Sorry, I don't have anything in common with these other, what are you talking about? What do I have in common with these H-1B Indians? What do I have in common with these black people that live on welfare? What do I have in common with these non-white immigrants that come here and they stop voting Republican because we're deporting too many illegals? I have nothing in common with them. I don't care what their income strata is. We have nothing in common.
Tucker Carlson has been getting a lot of backlash lately, especially because his last episode, he acknowledges that whites are dying. This is kind of ironic because oftentimes he's saying that white identity politics is very harmful and that it distracts the country from other real issues like economics and foreign policies. Nick is clapping back because Tucker Carlson has passive-aggressively thrown shots at him, saying that anyone who talks about whites or white identity politics or blood guilt is a distraction. And everyone knows that Nick Fuentes always talks about whites and stuff like that. So obviously he's talking about Nick. Because from Nick's perspective, I think he's right, okay? Because there could be Black Lives Matter, because other groups could act more tribal. The minute a white person wants to fight for whites, care about white people, stuff like that, you're labeled racist. I don't think it's harmful. As long as you're respectful and not on some Chuck the Builder type thing, I think it's perfectly fine, okay?
Culture is real. Race is real. Nationality is real. White genocide is real. We are really in a civilizational struggle here. And I don't know why anybody would be telling us not to think about it on these terms. It's very dishonest for him to go and do a monologue saying white people are under attack, white people are treated with this double standard, white people are being killed for being white, and then turn around and say, what is to be done? Let's all just take a deep breath and remember blood guilt is wrong. Let's all just take a deep breath and remember that the second we team up as whites, we're no better than them. Well, they are winning. So maybe we should be like them then. They are winning. In case you haven't noticed, blacks get what they want. Jews get what they want. Muslims and Hispanics get what they want. White people are paying for it. All of it. While we are dying. Your welfare, your Medicaid for all, your foreign aid, all that stuff is paid out of pocket by whitey as we are shanked and raped to death by foreigners. And we're being told, hey, don't worry about it. One of these days they'll assimilate. One of these days. Do you think these Sikhs, Muslims, Africans, American blacks, Hispanics, Chinese, do you ever envision a scenario in your lifetime where these people are looking out for white people the way we have looked out for them? The way we have bent over backwards and contorted ourselves to make reparation for slavery and colonialism and stolen archaeological artifacts, all these endless things. Do you ever envision a scenario where any one of these minority groups are together in the sociology department at some university talking about how microaggressions against those white people? How can we make a space that's safe for white people, where they feel comfortable, where there's white bodies and white faces in the room and representation for... Do you ever... It's not in their DNA. It's not in their DNA. It's not in their bones. They can't do it. The second they have power over us, it's going to be South Africa. The second they have power over us, it's going to be like the Ottoman Empire. We will be their slaves. They will be taking our stuff. They will be killing us in the streets. They will be insurfing and enslaving us. And they will do it with these historical vengeance narratives. You're playing with fire here. This idea we're going to wait around for them to see us the way we see them, not going to happen, folks. It's not going to happen. So that is a seriously disturbing message. And I wish everybody would just pay attention. When people tell you who they are, believe them.
You read the recent comments to Tucker's latest episode, he's getting a whole bunch of people cooking them in the comment section, saying coming off hypocritical. Because once again, he's offering no solutions. He's saying basically just to lay down as white people. I do agree with Nick Fuentes that, look, race is real. We can acknowledge it. And there's nothing wrong with that, okay? I don't think Tucker's heart is necessarily in a bad place, because this is why a lot of people gravitate towards Nick Fuentes, because a lot of times he is saying the quiet part out loud. And it looks like Tucker Carlson is not. He's kind of sugarcoating, beating around the bush on these type of topics. But I'm very curious to see what you guys think about this topic. Do you agree with Nick? Do you agree with Tucker Carlson? Are you a fan of Tucker Carlson? I'm curious to see what you guys think. I started watching a lot of Tucker Carlson content, and I generally do like him for the most part. But for some reason, it seems like a lot of creators that I do like, they don't like each other, which is kind of ironic. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. But I'm out of here. Peace.